Hi folks, Darren here with SOVA. I wanted to do a quick video and show you a new feature that we've added to SOVA that we're excited about. Hopefully you guys will find it very useful. For those of you doing dispatch, that's what this is about. So we're in the live dispatch section here. For those of you that run dispatch, this probably looks very familiar to you. Over here we can open up dispatch and we can assign activities there by selecting an activity, selecting an officer, indicating the location where the task or activity occurred. The informant, which is the person that informed us of the task, could be the name of a person, department, anything like that. And any comments about the task we would add there. So that's our typical dispatch. And once we save, then those tasks appear down at the bottom. So right now this shows a couple of tasks that have been added down here. One's a code 4 that's been started, and one is a fire extinguisher check that hasn't been started. You notice this toggle is toggled to no down here at the bottom right. So what we added is a different way of managing dispatch. So up here above the map, you'll see a toggle. The toggle is currently set to right, which is the default setting, which allows us to manage dispatch by way of this panel, which I just opened here to the right. All right, so we're going to toggle that, and that switches to the word top. You'll notice when I did that, this arrow is no longer here, and we have a handle at the top that we can click to open. So when we click that, you'll notice these are the same tasks that we had in the other screen. It's a little bit, it's an easier way to kind of visualize your tasks and where they're at in the process. What we find is that over here in this informed section, clients have been using this with a lot of success by adding tasks in here that might even be several hours into the future. So let's say, for instance, you have to lock up a certain part of your property in the evenings, and you know that task is coming. You can go ahead and add the task and just let it sit here, and it sort of sits here in this pending area. Then once you start the task, you just click and drag and pull the task over to the started section. You'll see I have this currently, grabbed it with my mouse. I haven't dropped it. We'll go ahead and set it back here where it was before, just so we can kind of proceed along. So again, we have 3 panels: informed, meaning tasks that are pending, that haven't started yet. Panel in the center is for tasks that have started, and the panel over here to the right, tasks that have been completed. All right, so let's go ahead and add a task. So we'll hit the plus icon down here at the bottom, and this is the same list, whether or not we're using the top way of managing dispatch or the one off to the right. So we'll go ahead and we'll choose, say there was a guest injury officer that's going to be dispatched, Sandeep, location. We'll say pool deck, and we'll say child slipped and fell. All right, informant, let's just say father of child. Keep it simple because we don't know the father's name, let's say. And we'll save that. All right, so now we have guest injury, and it's informed. It hasn't been started yet. Now, let's say that we just got a call for that activity, and we've assigned it to Sandeep, and we want to go ahead and start it. We can drag that over here to start it. What you'll notice when we do that is down here at the bottom, we have a pop-up that shows task started at 16:15, which is my current local time. So that task is now started. So we now have 1 informed and we have 2 started tasks. So to complete tasks, it's the same process. I just click and drag it over to completed. So now I've just completed that code 4. You'll see it says task mark complete down here at the bottom. And now we have 1 started, 1 completed, and 1 informed. So that's really all there is to this process. It's just an easier way to manage it. It's visual. It's, you go from left to right. It's very simple to use. If you wanted to make edits to this, let's say this fire extinguisher check was actually not to the west tower, but to the east tower. So I can click it to open it. I can make edits to this. I can save. Notice now it doesn't show west tower. It shows east tower. So that's been updated, and so on. Now, if I started a task, let's say that this guest injury I thought was started, but it in fact wasn't. I can click and I can drag this back to informed. What that does is it removes that entry off of the daily activity report. So it just removes it altogether, and you will no longer see it appearing anywhere in any reporting. So you can move from started back to informed, but once something is completed, you can't go back to started. You notice it says completed task cannot be moved. Remove task by clicking the X icon. All right, so tasks that haven't been started yet, I can click this X icon and delete this task. That removes it as an unstarted task. But once a task has been started, I can't remove it. So I can go over to here. This X won't work if I click it at that point. All right, so this is a system that you can switch back and forth between top or right. Perhaps some officers, some dispatchers will like this setup more so than the other one, and they can use it. Maybe other officers like using the one to the right. All they have to do is just toggle this back and forth. So it's really based on an individual user's preference. And just so you know, as this completed panel starts filling up, let's say we have a bunch of completed tasks over here, what'll happen is there'll be a scroll bar that'll appear as I add additional tasks. So this will be a scrolling window right here. So we'll be able to see everything that was completed. This will remain here so we can review this anytime we want up until the time that the current dispatcher logs out. So if I were to log myself out now by going here and clicking log out, what that would do in effect is the next time an officer logs in, they could go back to the same screen. They're going to see this, but they're not going to see any of these completed tasks. So completed tasks clear based on the session, the login session of the user. So as they log out, these go away. So you don't have to worry about this becoming, overly long, several days, several hundred entries. It doesn't work that way. So as officers, log out, let's say you're on a 2-hour rotation. Once they log out and another officer logs in, then these completed items will go away. All right, but you can always go over to the daily activity report and see what's completed, because as we make moves between these panels, it updates the daily activity report automatically. So one more thing, you guys cannot go from informed over to completed. You'll notice if I try to do that, what it'll do, it'll say informed task must be started before moving to completed. So that's logical, that makes sense. You need to start something before you can complete it. So the process then, again, is to click the plus icon, select the activity that you're recording. Say there was an employee accident, lunchroom, officer, Sandeep again, informant. Let's say the chef informed of this accident, comment. And burned let's say. Task. Go ahead and inform it. You'll notice that this just popped up. We have some integration set up with Slack. I don't know if you guys use Slack, but if you do, Slack is a great tool to collaborate between a team of people. You can share ideas, you can share screenshots, you can share videos, images, you can chat amongst yourselves. It's completely private and secure. So Slack is a really nice tool to use. So we've integrated SOVA with Slack in a lot of different levels. So you'll notice that pop-up there was a Slack pop-up. So the reason for that is I recorded what's considered a critical task, which is an employee accident, and it informed my Slack user group of that incident. So instead of receiving notifications by just email and text, now we have a third method. You can send notifications to Slack channels as well. So that's just another way to expand the platform. So that's essentially it, folks. Just wanted to go over that with you. Hopefully you guys will find some use out of that. Play around with it. Let us know if you find any bugs. It is, a fairly new system for us, so there may be some things that still need to be tweaked to get it to work, without any issues. But we think it's in pretty good shape. So go ahead and take a look at it, see what you think. You can always toggle back to the right section, and you can go back over here, and you can just continue using this. But we think you'll find using this is probably an easier way, a more sort of visual way. I think you can see things a lot better here. And in fact, if you needed a little bit more screen real estate, you can always minimize the menu by clicking this icon at the top here, right to the right of the SOVA logo. You can click that, that'll minimize the menu. And you can also further minimize the feed there. Let me go ahead and close the semi-transparent feed. So now you can sort of look at it just in this format if you want. We did leave these transparent because, as officers are doing their activities, you might want to keep eyes on them to see where they're at. So, but this is certainly, we think, a much easier way to manage dispatch just by simply dragging and dropping tasks from left to right. So let us know what you think. Shoot us an email, send us a text, and hopefully you guys will find some use of this. Thanks for watching, and we will talk to you soon.